in the field light, all day light, all night light, on the blue light, offense light, defense light, his squad light, house call light, in the sound light, in the sound light, in the sound light.
The NFC is actually a little bit more interesting because I feel like a lot of teams in that conference are now like coming to their senses, putting the right people, the right personnel in certain spots, and are bringing in the right players for them to be better teams. Now, granted, it's a lot of teams that are doing that, but not all of them. Now, take the Dallas Cowboys, for example. Yes, I know, nobody is a big fan of the Dallas Cowboys, but look, I personally think their offseason so far has been somewhat entertaining, so hear me out. Now, I know a lot of the fans were disappointed because the Cowboys didn't make any moves in free agency, especially when the owner came out and said that they're going all in this season, and then making the only splash be bringing back Ezekiel Elliott.
Was that it? That was it?
But picking up tackle Tyler Guyton I think that was a good move. You know, you got to prepare. You always got to protect your quarterback. That's always a smart thing to do. And they've been having issues with the offensive line. You know, it's not the same what it used to be. So that's a step in the right direction, in my opinion, as well as picking up guard Cooper Beebe. Now, trust me, I'm well aware that picking offensive linemen isn't the sexiest thing a team can do in the NFL as far as drafting goes, but it is necessary. They also addressed their need at linebacker, drafting my boy out of Notre Dame.
Maurice Luafau out of Notre Dame.
Yes, I had somebody else say his name. I don't want to butcher anybody else's name no more. So if I can't do it on my own, I'm going to get somebody else to do it. Sue me. And even if you're the biggest or the craziest Cowboy fan, you got to admit, they did not do nowhere near as bad in this draft this year. Maybe not crazy about the free agency situation, but really don't need a lot of things for Cowboys. And yes, trust and believe, I'm fully aware that as far as Dak Prescott goes, the house of the Cowboys is very divided about this guy. Half y'all hate him, half y'all love him. But me personally, I've always felt that the Cowboys' issue wasn't necessarily the guys on the field, more so the guys in the front office and the coaching staff. But it's a new season, new year, new Cowboys.
You can do it!
Now, there's only one team that has me straight up 110% confused, and that is the Atlanta Falcons.
What? What are you doing? What?
Like, seriously, I'm convinced that every Falcons fan is looking at their front office and just glaring at them like,
you had one job.
I don't got much to say about the Atlanta Falcons. All I'm going to say is this. If this blows up in your face, we will laugh. Hard.
See?
I am interested to see how this all plays out, but with the draft going down the way that it did, but to me, somebody who has any kind of say-so in that front office made it abundantly clear and said, Cousins is your guy, but he's not mine. And how ironic is it that when the Falcons made the move that they decided to make, the one team that pretty much kind of sort of benefited from it was the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings, who themselves made some moves in free agency as far as letting people go and signing certain players, had a lot of people scratching their head, to a certain degree. But the draft eliminated all of those questions for me, personally. I mean, in the first round alone, they went ahead and they got J.J. McCarthy and Dallas Turner, two of the top prospects in their respective positions. When the Vikings let Delaney Hunter go, everybody was questioning them like, really? Why would you let that guy go? But when they selected Dallas Turner in the draft, yeah, the Vikings weren't messing around. They even traded up to get both of these guys. Traded up once with the Jets to get McCarthy, and then they traded with the Jags to get Turner. And say what you want about McCarthy, we really won't know how he transitions from college into the NFL until we see him on the field throwing the ball downfield. And speaking of throwing the ball down the field, McCarthy's targets, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, Jamal Adams in the backfield, and if everything goes their way, Justin Jefferson. Yeah, and honestly, peep the NFC West. That whole division is going through some drastic changes. I mean, take the Rams, for example. Yeah, they'll still have Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp.
Bring pressure, Stafford. There's Puka Nacua, and there's the first down, and he spins free.
Kratos retired. No more Kratos, y'all. But what do the Rams do with him retiring? they did the next best thing. For the first time in a very, very long time, the Rams were in the first round. And with their first pick in the first round in centuries, they went ahead and got Jared Verse, the defensive end out of Florida State. And on top of that, later on, they went ahead and grabbed his teammate Braden Fisk, who played right next to Jared at Florida State. And needless to say, both of these guys were ecstatic that they were joining each other on the LA Rams squad. Yes, it is 110% hard to replace a certified first ballot Hall of Famer. But they took the right approach and taking the necessary steps and moving forward with their program. I mean, it wasn't that bad. This was a playoff team. Like I said, they still got Matthew Stafford throwing that ball around. And Cooper Kupp and Puka, man, those boys have done everything and any and everything to prove that they the real deal on that side of the ball. And that the Rams should never be taken lightly while they're there. And yes, the San Francisco 49ers made it to the Super Bowl last year. Yes, the San Francisco 49ers are bringing back a lot of the guys that they had on that last season's squad. Having a few people here and there that you don't know, it's in the air, nothing's been said yet, but it's pretty much the same. But at the same time, their opportunity to become champions, the window, I'm not going to say is closed, but it's not going to get any easier with the other teams in their division starting to get their stuff together. I mean, look at the Arizona Cardinals. I did not believe the hype of the Arizona Cardinals when they got that new head coach a few years ago. I didn't believe it one bit. But then you saw sparks here and there last season that the Cardinals, they down to fight. They ready to go. But they had pieces missing in certain spots. Now this year they're going to have a healthy Kyler Murray, which you can say whatever you want about the guy. When he's healthy, he can sling that ball with the best of them. And now that one of his targets will from now on be Marvin Harrison Jr., if I'm a defensive coordinator going up against the Cardinals, I'm doing everything but taking that lightly. Then, I'm pretty sure the Cardinals are a little tired of being the bottom of the barrel in that division. They look like they're trying to make some noise. And now the Seattle Seahawks have a brand new head coach with a defensive mind mentality. They got to go up against a lot of teams that have a lot of firepower on the offensive side of the ball. What better to bring in Michael McDonald to come in and try to shut those guys down? And honestly, all in all, as far as the NFC goes altogether, this conference is really up in the air. It's up for anybody to grab. A lot of teams are making moves to improve themselves, but that's just it. There's more teams than usual, from what I can remember, that are actually taking the right path to become a great team, a great franchise. Some guys are gambling. Some guys don't need to gamble. They got pieces. They just needed to add a few more here and there. But it's true. The NFC conference is up for grabs. The only question is, who's going to step up and become the big dog? Thank you for watching this video. By all means, like, share, and leave a comment. And if you want to see more content, go ahead and push the subscribe and notification button for videos already up and for the ones to come.